In a bustling supermarket, a man moves through the aisles with a trolley. Overhead, the news broadcast echoes through the speakers. Recently, in Z City, several cases of animals attacking humans have been reported. Authorities advise citizens to avoid going out at night. All relevant departments are actively investigating the matter, so please remain calm. Now, breaking news. In X City, dozens of people have been infected by an unidentified virus, resulting in a surge of influenza cases. X Media will continue to monitor and report on the situation. The man pauses, examining a can of tuna. He thinks to himself that stocking up on non-perishable goods is always wise. He also picks up canned beef, Han's favorite brand. At the counter, two women are chatting. One mentions that the elder of the Lee family, known for his good health, had suddenly passed away just days ago. She wonders aloud if it might have been due to that strange respiratory illness. The other woman adds that he didn't even last 2 days. The first notes that there have been far too many cases like this lately. The second questions why the government still hasn't found the cause. With a sigh, the first replies, "The world is no longer peaceful." Later, the man loads several boxes of supplies into his car: instant meals, frozen goods, meat, daily necessities, snacks, and plenty of canned food. All that remains is to get diesel. He reminds himself he must hurry home to prepare food for Han, and also deal with the deer he hunted earlier that morning. As he drives, his phone rings. He answers, greeting the caller. A young woman's voice asks him about her previous proposal. She claims she can help him secure a respectable job. Before she can finish, Tan Ran firmly interrupts, saying, "But Lihan will not be sent to an orphanage." The woman grows agitated, snapping that she has no blood relation to the girl. She warns him not to speak of marriage if he insists on bringing that burden with him. Ran explains calmly that Lihin is his younger sister, his family, and someone he cannot abandon. The woman argues, demanding to know why she should be forced to raise a child who could practically be her daughter. She complains about the hardships she's already endured with him, and declares that if he won't take her seriously, then their marriage cannot happen. Ran responds simply, "All right then, let's not get married." The woman ends the call abruptly, leaving him stunned in silence. Suddenly, a metallic tang fills the air. Blood. Ran slams the brakes, beads of sweat forming as he breathes heavily. Something rushes past the car. What was that? A dog, he wonders? Then, spotting its legs, he mutters, "No, it looks like a goat." Ahead of him, a wounded goat stumbles into view. Its skull is shattered, yet it remains alive, staggering before disappearing into the bushes. Ran watches quietly, conflicted. Eventually, he shakes his head. "Never mind. Since it left, I don't need to call the police." At last, Ran arrives at his farm, unloading the ration boxes from the car. A cheerful voice calls out, "Big brother." He turns to see Han playing with the dogs before running over to greet him. "Slow down," Ran tells her gently. Han's eyes brighten as she notices the supplies. "Wow, you bought so many things. I'll help carry them too." Ran hands her a small bag. "Then you can carry this one." "Okay," Han agrees enthusiastically, clutching the bag with pride. She smiles and announces, "Big brother, I've finished all the tasks you gave me today. I fed the ox, changed the water, and watered the crops. I'm so tired. I really want to eat your stew to feel better." Ran chuckles softly. "How about venison stew with carrots for my little gluttonous cat?" Han's face lights up and she cheers. "Hooray!" She's about to say more when she spots one of the dogs chewing on crops. She scolds, "Bad Shio, you can't eat that," and gives the dog a playful smack. Together, they walk back toward the house, leaving faint footprints in the soil. Nearby, the ox lifts its head briefly, then goes back to grazing. Its eyes glow red, and it suddenly demands that they stop. Afterward, Han tells Big Brother that she has never witnessed a solar eclipse before. She asks if the sky will really turn completely dark like night. The news broadcast calls it the most spectacular event of the century, announcing that the eclipse is about to begin. While eating, Han cheerfully remarks that the food tastes delicious. She praises Big Brother's hunting and cooking skills, noting how much he has improved. Ren explains that it won't turn into night, only darker, and reminds her to use the glasses he gave so she can watch it safely. The broadcast continues, declaring that the countdown to the eclipse has started. Han grows excited, but then points outside and asks, "What is that?" Through the window, Ran notices the sun turning black. Darkness spreads, and he rises to his feet, intrigued. Just as he tries to say something, the electric bulb flickers. Han grows uneasy, asking why there is suddenly a blackout and why the air has turned so cold. Their dog begins barking, and Ran's concern deepens. The radio signal cuts in and out, adding to the tension. Han, now terrified, urges Big Brother to look. Ran steps outside and is stunned to see a violent snowstorm raging. Han, shivering, asks why such a storm would appear in the middle of summer. Ran quickly tells her to return to the house, promising he will lock up the cattle and sheep before coming back. He instructs Xiaoi to protect Han. The dog barks in acknowledgement. Han begs him to hurry, while Ran reassures her, then heads out with Xia to secure the livestock. As they press through the blizzard, Ran mutters in disbelief at the severity of the storm. He calls out to Xiaohai to check if he's fine. Overhead, the sun is completely black. Suddenly, a strange light flickers across it, and Ran notices an ox standing ominously behind him. Shocked, he mutters that it's impossible. Xiaohai, equally frightened, begins barking to signal danger. The ox lowers its head, preparing to charge. Ran spins around, startled, just as Xiao lunges to intercept the beast. Panic overtakes Ran as he realizes he needs his weapon. He races to find his bow and finally spots it nearby. The ox slams into Xia, tossing him into the air. Gritting his teeth, Ran grabs an arrow, muttering in frustration, then aims. Before he can release, a volley of arrows suddenly strikes the ox. It bellows in pain. Relieved, Ran thinks it must finally be dead, but the beast rises again, angrier than before, and charges him. Terror floods Ran as he realizes his attack wasn't enough. Muttering that something feels terribly wrong, he prepares to fire again. But then, a cold voice from the system informs him, "Ammo count 0. Living beings detected 3. Ran freezes, bewildered. Could it be happening again? Shaking off the thought, he searches his quiver, only to find it empty. He curses under his breath just as the ox slams into him, throwing him to the ground. Coughing and struggling to rise, Ran sees the ox looming over him, preparing another strike. Xia bites at him, barking frantically as if trying to deliver a warning. Ran realizes with dread that the direction it points is toward the house. Panic sets in if this ox has mutated, then Han is in grave danger. Xiao's eyes suddenly flare red as it turns toward Han, ready to attack. Han screams for it to stop, trembling as she begs, "What's wrong with you, Xiaoi?" But the dog roars with fury and charges. At the last moment, Ran arrives and strikes Xiao aside, shielding Han. She cries out for her big brother, tears streaming down her face. Ran, breathing heavily, stares at the beast with grim disbelief. Even Xiaoi has mutated. He holds Han tightly, insisting that her big brother will take her to the safe house first. He warns her to hide well and never come out. The danger outside hasn't been resolved. Han, trembling and in tears, pleads with him, but Ren tells her firmly that Xiaoi has become extremely dangerous. "Listen to your big brother. No matter what, don't ever come out." Han, sobbing, nods and agrees. Ren steps out of the house with Han, both of them visibly frightened. The system alerts him. His ammunition is depleted, and 4 living entities are detected within range. Ren's heart sinks its tear again. This isn't an illusion. What on earth is this? He instructs Han to return inside immediately. She agrees reluctantly. He tells her again, "No matter what happens, stay hidden. Believe in me." The system updates once more. Ammunition remains at 0, but now 5 living beings are within range. Ren freezes as Shia suddenly appears behind him. His eyes sharpen, becoming wary. From inside, Han calls out for her brother, crying. At that moment, Shioi lunges to attack Shioi, and Ren's worry deepens. He clings to the thought, good, if Shia can hold that thing off first, I'll join in and finish this. Ren breaks into a run, drawing the Ox's attention. With his axe in hand, he braces himself. All right then, come at me. The Ox charges. At the last second, Ren sidesteps, forcing the creature's horn into a tree where it becomes lodged. Raising his weapon, Ren mutters, die. But before he can strike, Shioi bursts forward and sinks its teeth into his neck. Ren's chest tightens in fear. Was Shia killed? He barely has time to think before the Ox rams him, its horns piercing his body. Blood gushes from his mouth as he coughs violently. His thoughts blur. No, cut it down. The noise, it's so loud. Why is it so loud? The system's voice interrupts. Apocalypse survival game is initiating a match. Ren, barely conscious, struggles to comprehend. What's that sound? Don't fall asleep. What carousel? It's so loud. I have to kill them. These beasts won't stop. Let me finish them. At least Han must survive. The system continues. Player Leon Ran. Apocalypse survival game matched successfully. Loading complete. Information floods his mind. Player Leon Ran. Shelter established a poorly run manor. Level 1. Skill, Eye of Truth. Current rank, B. Requirement to upgrade fortress rank, 8 million points. Suddenly, Ren awakens in a strange space surrounded by water. Shocked, he blinks as water splashes against his face. Am I still alive? He looks down, touching his chest. He remembers being pierced by the Ox's horns. His torn clothing and the dried blood are proof. Yet, his wounds are completely gone. What's happening? Where did the Ox and Shio go? A sharp pain stabs his head, and he cries out, gripping it. Alert now, he scans his surroundings and sees both the Ox and Shioi lying unconscious nearby. Astonishment fills him. What happened after I blacked out? Then, as if reliving it, Ren remembers throwing himself at Shio Bai to protect Han. Han's terrified cries echo, Big Brother, her voice trembling with fear. Ren's mind reels with confusion. Did even Shio Bai mutate? This destructive power is far beyond what any ordinary human could unleash. A strange aura surrounds him, and then the system's voice echoes. Player Leon Ran, welcome to the Apocalypse survival game. Player identity has been activated. Terror strikes Ran as a sharp beam of light pierces him, flooding his body with rage. Realizing the Ox is still alive, he grips his axe and launches another attack. The creature bellows in agony. To his shock, Ran notices his wounds closing, strength surging through his body. Then a massive explosion erupts. When he regains consciousness, Ran opens his eyes in panic. He gasps for breath, drenched in sweat, his heart racing. I really did die once, he thinks, trembling. Yet somehow, his body has healed, and the power coursing through him feels unnatural, something not his own. It can only be the work of this so-called system. Countless glowing status windows flicker before his eyes. Game successfully loaded. Shelter successfully bound. Point Mall activated. Beginner reward issued. Please check it yourself. Excitement stirs in Rand's chest. The system speaks again, and he mutters to himself, if this really follows the logic of online games, does that mean it will assign me missions? Suddenly, another sharp beam of light strikes his mind. Shocked, he clutches his head. God, it's feeding information directly into my brain. The system continues. First round of destruction season has begun. 30 days remain until the next round. Natural disasters will ravage the world. The only fortress you can depend on is your shelter. Player's mission: survive the Apocalypse game and strengthen your shelter into the strongest fortress. Rand's face hardens. The first round, which means there will be others. If this one poisons the land where humans live, what horrors will the second bring? He approaches Shiobai, who lies unconscious. From the system's explanation, it seems Shiobai and the ox must have ingested poisonous plants and mutated. The mutation made their bodies stronger, but also violent. I need to tie it up and lock it in a cage before it hurts anyone. His thoughts then turn to Han. Opening the door, he heads downstairs. He flicks at the light switch, nothing. So the electrical grid isn't back yet. No signal, no communication either. At least the diesel generators are fine. Where's Han? He mutters while searching. Why is it so silent down here? Suddenly, he spots a pair of legs protruding from behind a box. His heart skips a beat. Han, he shouts, rushing over. He pulls her close, panic in his voice. The system chimes. State of Han lethargic. Relief washes over him as Han stirs, her eyes fluttering open. Big brother, she whispers weakly. I waited here just like you said. Then a light appeared. I don't remember what happened after that. Are you all right? Rand smiles faintly. Why didn't you lay out a mattress? Sleeping directly on the ground isn't good for you. I'm fine, Han. Don't worry, I've taken care of everything. She asks softly, what about Shiobai? Rand replies firmly, Zio is injured. You'll see him soon, but for now, just rest. Be good and stay here. I have something important to handle. Han nods. Okay. She closes her eyes again and drifts back to sleep. Rand steps away, his mind racing. No more mutant livestock outside for now. Still, how different is this system from an online game? He checks the glowing interface. Beginner reward, just this? A frown creases his brow. I thought I'd at least receive a powerful weapon or a unique skill. Instead, nothing extraordinary. No overpowering start. Then his eyes narrow at a strange symbol floating in front of him. What's this question mark supposed to mean? He clicks on it and realizes the system's currency is measured in points. Points, so that's the exchange. His eyes widen as he discovers a particular seed can even grow in poison land. Doesn't that mean? The thought unsettles him. These seeds are unimaginably expensive, and he is practically penniless. He frowns, recalling the meager supplies he had just checked at home. Everything in direct contact with the soil has already been contaminated in one way or another. It could take a long time for things to recover from the disconnection. Judging by the worsening conditions outside, the outlook isn't promising either. Suddenly, something sparks in his memory, the ox and Shioi. He reflects grimly that all the polluted resources must be cleared away. Rand steps outside and lifts his gaze to the black sun blazing overhead. A violent firestorm erupts in front of him, flames reflecting in his eyes. After staring for a moment, he heads back inside the house and pulls open a cupboard stocked with weapons, pistols, rifles, and guns of every kind. He starts up the diesel generator with a rumble, then picks up a gun and examines it carefully. Setting a walkie-talkie beside Han, he leaves the house, armed and alert. Driving off in his car, he notices mutant crows swooping after him, joined by a mutant owl, a wolf, and other twisted creatures. All the nearby mutants. They're being drawn to me, he realizes. I have to kill them quickly. But before he acts, his attention snaps to the rearview mirror. A military truck is approaching fast. His grip tightens on the wheel. The truck overtakes him and halts abruptly in front of his car, forcing him to brake. Fear creeps into Rand's chest. An officer steps out, weapon leveled at him. Hands up, he commands sharply, before speaking into his walkie-talkie. Road alert cleared. Lowering his gun, the officer adds flatly, it's over. Rand studies the insignia on the man's uniform, military, from the nearby base. If the army has been deployed, then riots must have broken out in the city. He wonders briefly about Chonglin. The officer's voice cuts through his thoughts. "It's dangerous out here. Don't linger." Ran explains quickly, "I don't have resources left at home. I came out to search. Can you tell me what's happening in the city?" Before the man can answer, a crackling voice comes through his walkie-talkie. "Sector B under attack by mutant cats. Immediate assistance required." "Roger," the officer replies briskly. Turning back to Ran, he advises, "If you need supplies, the government has designated special areas for resource trading. The city isn't safe anymore. Go back as soon as you can." Ran nods. "Understood." A formation of military planes roars overhead. Following the truck, Ran's unease deepens. If even the planes have been dispatched, then there must be countless mutant beasts. Though he and Chonglin had broken up, her place lies along his route. He decides he'll stop by to check on her. After all, she was his girlfriend not too long ago. The city ahead is in chaos. Sirens wail, and an announcement echoes across the streets. "All units, be advised." Another robbery has occurred on Roman 20 Street. A female body has been found at Roman 20 Pond. Time of death. Rand's expression hardens. Aside from the endless police cars, ambulances dominate the roads. He watches paramedics struggle to load a bleeding patient into one of them. "Quickly," one shouts. "He's losing too much blood. He won't last." Another responds grimly. "Another lung infection from contaminated food. Prepare an adrenaline shot." But a third voice cuts in, panicked. "No use, we've run out of inotropes. There are too many patients." Nearby, a man lies injured on the ground while a young woman clings to him, sobbing. "Don't fall asleep. Please, just hold on. We'll be at the hospital soon." Her voice trembles with desperation, but the man only coughs weakly. "Forget it. There aren't any beds left anyway." His eyes flutter as he whispers, "No one's answering the emergency line." Ran watches the scene, his chest tightening. The medical system, it's collapsing. They can't even handle the side effects from these radiated plants. He takes a long, steady breath. Can I really protect Han and clear this game successfully? An announcement rings out across the area. "Attention, everyone. This is a government-designated location for resource purchases. Please follow the regulations. Form an orderly line and remain patient. Each person has purchase indicators, and only those with valid certificates may buy. Items will be distributed in measures of caddies of rice." The crowd murmurs with frustration as the distribution begins. 5 caddies of flour, 1 caddy of vegetables, the officials announce. The citizens jostle restlessly. One man complains, "Hey, don't cut in line. I've been waiting for 5 hours. Let me buy first." Another snaps back, "Shut your mouth. He was here first and just stepped away to use the toilet." A third interjects mockingly, "Do you even know who that is? He's the general manager of Xxidome Company. If you offend him, you'll regret it." Suddenly, voices rise in anger. Someone yells, "Who just kicked him?" Chaos spreads as a woman clutches her crying daughter, desperately trying to calm her sobs. The little girl cries for food while the crowd devolves into shouts and shoves. Nearby, a man strikes another and roars, "That's mine." The other screams back, "No, you stole it from me." Citizens clash violently, quarreling over scraps of food. Ran observes the chaos. Turning down a street, he thinks to himself that just ahead lies the house he has rented. But before he can make the turn, a wagon pulls up, blocking his path. Ran halts his car and watches as a man steps out, scanning the surroundings. The stranger approaches Ran and asks, "Brother, are you here to buy supplies?" Ran, curious, responds cautiously, "Why do you ask?" The man smirks. "I saw you wandering around the department store earlier. You couldn't get anything, right? Well, I've got it all: watermelons, pumpkins, tomatoes, rice, whatever you need." Ran narrows his eyes and replies with a cold smile, "If you have the guts to eat all that in front of me, I'll buy everything you're offering." The man hesitates, confused. "What do you mean by that?" Ran explains sharply. "I can see you're just trying to take advantage of desperate people." Ren, standing nearby, cuts in firmly. "That's enough. Stop blocking the way." But the peddler protests. "Hey, why are you treating me like this?" Ran's temper flares. He pulls out his gun and points it at the man. The peddler stumbles back in fear, stammering, "Hey, brother, calm down." Ran's voice is cold. "I'm a good citizen. Even if I kill you right here, no one will say a word. Now, get lost." Terrified, the man nods quickly. All right, I'm going." He retreats, muttering bitterly to himself, "Another failure. Wasted my time again." Afterward, Ran steps out of his car and surveys the area cautiously. He makes his way into a building and climbs the stairs. At a door, he knocks firmly. "Jianglin, are you home?" There is no response. Checking carefully, he finds a key tucked under the mattress. Frowning, he wonders aloud, "She's not here?" Unlocking the door, Ran calls again. "Jianglin?" The house is silent. Inside, the place is messy, far from her usual spotless order. He mutters, "What's going on? She's always so clean and tidy." Looking around, he spots a piece of spoiled fruit and a small pillbox. Picking it up, he reads the label. It's from Tian Run Pharmaceuticals, a company notorious in the area for its terrible reputation. Ran's thoughts race. She wouldn't buy from them, and there's no trace of blood. She couldn't have been poisoned by mistake. But this mess, this isn't her. The lock hasn't been forced either. Everything here feels staged. He clenches his jaw, concern rising. Then where could she have gone in a world like this? At that moment, the system chimes in his mind. Player Ran has unlocked the Level 1 Shelter Skill Award, the Eye of Reality. All objects and creatures are digitally projected before the host. A Level 1 shelter grants authority to remotely manage its operations. Even if the player steps outside, he can still monitor the shelter's real-time status and control all available resources and supplies at any moment. Within the designated 30-acre area, fishing, farming, and construction are all possible. At this stage, the greenhouse is old and deteriorated, operating at a loss. Ren thinks to himself that once he earns enough points, he will upgrade the farm's facilities. He only hopes this won't interfere with the research and cultivation of anti-radiation crops. For now, he quietly continues his farming. Han suddenly exclaims with excitement, "Big brother, the seeds are sprouting. Come and see." Rand, standing nearby, allows with a nod. "Go on, let him take a look." Han watches in amazement as tiny plants push through the soil. The system notifies Ran that the tomato seedlings will take 48 hours to reach full maturity. Ran reflects that this is a success. The seeds are exactly as described by the system, and their short growth period is a relief. With enough points, survival seems possible. For the first time, he feels hopeful that both he and Han can endure this apocalypse. Han remarks, a little teary-eyed, "The seeds we planted before all withered. I thought we'd have no food left. But as expected of Big Brother, you found something so miraculous." Ran reassures her, "Of course, I'll always find a way." Then he asks, "Have you memorized the rules I told you?" Han giggles and answers proudly, "Don't underestimate me. First, never eat food that isn't given by brother. Second, don't leave the farm without his permission. Third," she hesitates, then blurts, "if I see a strange animal, I must hide." After that, she forgets the rest. Rand continues firmly, "Make sure to watch Xiaoi. Don't let it wander off." He turns to Xia Hai. "Did you hear me?" The loyal dog barks in acknowledgement. Just then, the system announces that the anti-radiation crops are ready for harvest and urges him to collect them quickly. Rand stands before the ripe plants, considering his options. The system reminds him about recycling. After careful thought, he chooses to convert 70% of the crops into points, while storing the rest as food. The system asks for confirmation. Does he wish to recycle 200 kilograms of anti-radiation crops? Ran confirms. Instantly, the system reports success. He gains 2,000 points, 3 ancient medical carrots, and 30 kilograms of anti-radiation crops secured in storage. A congratulatory message follows. The player has completed his first recycle, unlocked the title Recycle Master, and earned 2 artificial intelligence work robots. Ran stares in surprise. This is his first attempt, and he didn't expect a reward beyond points. It dawns on him that achievements may grant many such benefits. Still, he finds the robot underwhelming at first, so small it almost seems useless. But when it activates, glowing faintly and emitting strange sounds, Ran has the uncanny feeling that it is watching him. To his amazement, he realizes the robot is linked to his consciousness through the system, able to receive commands directly from his thoughts. The convenience excites him, though he knows he must now be cautious with every word and thought. Later, Ran serves food to Han and Shia. "This is to celebrate the sprouting of our seeds," he says warmly. Han hesitates. "But big brother, didn't you say we should ration our meals from now on?" Ran smiles and explains, "That's true, but since we can grow crops again, we can spare a little from storage. Tonight, we eat." Han's face lights up with joy as she exclaims, "Big brother." Ren gently reassures her, telling her she can relax and eat freely at home. However, he warns that if she ever reveals to outsiders that they have food stored here, the punishment will be harsh. She would be denied food for 3 days. Han protests eagerly, arguing that even 1 day without food is already cruel enough. She promises she won't tell anyone and insists she understands. Ren studies her for a moment before replying, "All right then, go ahead and eat." He knows she craves something different after days of nothing but instant noodles. After 2 days of surviving on cup noodles, Ren finally sets real food before Xiaoi. He offers the first chicken drumstick, saying, "This one's for Shia. Thank you for protecting Han and me." Han hugs Shia tightly, declaring that he's the best. Still, a shadow of worry crosses her face as she asks if Xiao is feeling better. Xiaoi licks her cheek playfully, trying to lift her spirits. Ren reassures her, explaining that Xiao is only badly wounded and needs time to recover. "Don't worry," he says softly. "When he heals, he'll come out and play with you again." Han nods obediently, answering, "All right?" Ren reminds her not to disturb Xiao in the attic while he rests. She agrees once more. Meanwhile, Ren can't help but think of Xiao wild yet confined like a beast in a cage. Suddenly, his thoughts are interrupted. The system triggers an alert. Someone is attempting to intrude. Ren immediately calls for the monitoring screen. The system scans and reports. The intruder is a 42-year-old male, unarmed, with a threat level of 3. When the image comes up, Ren recognizes him. "Uncle Nan, why is he here?" Stepping outside, Ren calls out, "Uncle Nan, is something wrong?" Uncle Nan spots him, tosses away his cigarette, and approaches. "Young boss Ran," he says, "I need your help." "Speak," Ren replies firmly. Taking a deep breath, Uncle Nan admits, "Boss Ran, does your farm still have food supplies? I have no choice left. My home was raided, and all our stored food was stolen. The markets are impossible, prices are too high. Please, can you spare me some food?" Ren hesitates, worry flickering in his eyes. After a long pause, he finally replies, "Uncle Nan, I'm sorry. I don't have much left myself. The last harvest was ruined by mutations." Uncle Nan lowers his head, clearly disheartened. "I see. I thought so. I've already gone to many relatives, but no one has any food to spare. I know I'm being shameless." Ren considers, then says, "I can give you some rations, but not much. Think of it as thanks for looking after my family." Uncle Nan's face brightens with gratitude. Ren hands him several packs of cup noodles, telling him, "This is all I can give for now. Try other ways first." Uncle Nan nods sincerely. "I'm already thankful." He turns to leave, while Ren watches in silence. In his mind, he reflects, these rations will barely last him 5 days. Even if I don't lack food now, the human heart is unpredictable. I must remain cautious. He decides to secretly send extra vegetables from storage during the night, things he doesn't really need. Later, Han approaches and hands Ren a bag. "Big brother, take my snacks too," she insists. Ren nods and accepts it. Outside Uncle Nan's home, Ren overhears his voice. Uncle Nan calls out to his son, Shachian, panic in his tone. "What's wrong? Don't scare your father." Ran looks closer. Chian is coughing violently, blood spilling from his mouth. Uncle Nan cradles him, weeping. "Son, you said you were getting better. Why is it worse?" His cries echo in despair as more blood pours out. Watching from the window, Ren grows anxious. Han clutches his arm, terrified. "Big brother, Uncle Nan's son, is he going to die?" Ren quickly shields her view. "Don't look. He'll be fine," he says, though his expression is troubled. In his mind, he analyzes the symptoms. It must be food contamination irradiated vegetables, most likely. He thinks of the ancient medicinal carrot, a rare plant with a growth rate of 100%. This might be the only chance. Whether Shashan survives or not will depend entirely on luck. Ren hurls something through the window, shattering the glass into countless shards. Uncle Nan immediately tenses, his face showing both fear and anticipation. A bag lands inside, and he shouts angrily, "Which bastard did this? Show yourself." Tian, clutching his side in pain, raises a trembling hand toward the bag. "Father, wait. Look at that." Uncle Nan steadies himself. "All right, son, don't move. I'll check it." He cautiously opens the bag and his expression shifts from suspicion to shock. "Good heavens, this is food. Fresh vegetables." Tian calls out weakly, "Father." Uncle Nan grabs his hand, voice breaking. "Son." Tian pleads through tears, "Let me try. I'll die lying here anyway. I want to survive." Uncle Nan falls silent, torn apart inside. Watching his son sob, he clenches his jaw. The hospital can't help him anymore if there's even the slightest chance. He must take it. He picks up a carrot and presses it against John's lips. "Damn it, we'll give it a try. Son, chew quickly." Sean bites down and swallows. Almost immediately, his body convulses with a violent reaction. He screams in pain. "Son!" Uncle Nan cries, horrified. Blood bursts from Sean's mouth, and he collapses forward, coughing violently. Uncle Nan is frantic, but then Sean's breathing steadies. His skin gains color. Slowly, he raises his head, still coughing, but alive. Uncle Nan's eyes well up with relief. "It's working, son. This is incredible." Tian nods faintly through the coughing. Across the room, Ran watches with growing hope. Suddenly, the lights flicker on. Electricity is restored. Ran thinks quickly if the power is back, the signal should be as well. He dials Young Lin's number and presses the phone to his ear. But the automated voice answers, "The person you have called is unavailable. Please try again later." Meanwhile, in another location, a phone rings. A man groans, "So noisy." "Whose phone is that?" He picks it up and smirks. The signal's back. Another man mutters, "Must be that girl's phone. Switch it off." The first asks, "How much food do you think they scored this time?" "Enough to last months," the second replies casually. The first laughs. "Following Brother Fatty was the smartest decision we made." The second looks uneasy. "But why do they need people?" The first man cuts him off coldly. "Shut up. Just take the money and do what you're told." The second quickly nods, silenced. Their car passes the looming building of Cheon Pharmaceuticals. Back at the farm, Han is practically bouncing with excitement. Big brother is amazing. I saw brother Chan vomit so much blood, but after eating the carrot he recovered. His skin isn't gray anymore, it's purple now. That's so cool. She twirls happily, singing a tune. Ren watches her fondly, amused by how vivid her imagination is. She loves animation so much, even her descriptions sound like scenes from one. But then, Ren stiffens. Something feels wrong. He glances upward and his blood runs cold. A massive shadow looms above the car. A giant gorilla, roaring with ferocity, descends upon them. Han, sit tight, Ren shouts. Okay, she responds without hesitation. Ren floors the accelerator, but the gorilla leaps, blocking their path. Fear grips him. Han, get down, he orders, gun in hand. She ducks instantly. Ren fires at the beast, but it dodges and charges from the front. He grabs Han protectively and swerves, slamming the car into a tree. The gorilla crashes into it headfirst. Ren wastes no time. He raises his gun and shoots until the monster collapses. Breathing hard, he steps out of the car. The creature lies dead at his feet. On its body, marked clearly, is the number 5. Ren frowns. Numbered? What the hell? Where did this thing come from? There aren't any zoos or breeding farms around here. His gaze shifts toward the distance, where the towering Cheon Pharmaceuticals facility looms under the storm clouds. Lightning splits the sky, rain pouring down in sheets. At the farm, Ren gently tells Han, "Go on, watch your animation. Big brother has something to take care of." "Okay," she chirps. Ren enters another room, where Shio writhes in a fevered state. Taking a deep breath, he steels himself. The system voice chimes, "Do you wish to use the ancient medicinal carrot?" Ren selects yes. Carefully, he places the carrot in Shio's mouth. "If this crop can purge radiation from tainted vegetables," he prays silently, "then it can bring you back too." He watches with bated breath, whispering, "Please, let this work." Shioi suddenly grows restless, letting out a wild roar. A flash of light cuts across the sky, and Han grows anxious. Such loud thunder, she thinks, feeling uneasy. Fear creeps in, and she wonders, why hasn't Big Brother come back yet? Determined, she decides to go look for him. As Han searches, she notices Ran hiding behind the door. A mischievous thought crosses her mind. So, he's here. Let's sneak up and scare him. She tiptoes closer and suddenly leaps forward to surprise him. Ran startles, then quickly recognizes her. Han wraps her arms around him from behind, giggling. "This time I scared you, didn't I?" But her laughter fades instantly. Her eyes fall on Xioi lifeless. Her heart sinks. She clutches Ran tightly, breaking down in tears. Concerned, Ran holds her and tries to steady her. "Han, pull yourself together." Through sobs, Han cries out, "Big brother, don't you still have carrots that can save lives? Quickly, feed them to Xioi." Ran shakes his head. Carrots can't heal mutated creatures. Her grief only deepens. "I don't want Xioi to die. I can't bear it," she cries in agony. The system suddenly activates, updating Ran. Crops are classified into 4 tiers: anti-radiation crops, ancient medical crops, god-rank crops, and super god-rank crops. Level 1 anti-radiation crops are worth 1 point per kilogram. Level 2 ancient medical crops are worth 100 points per kilogram. Level 3 god-rank crops are worth 1,000 points per kilogram. Level 4 super god-rank crops are worth 10,000 points per kilogram. Later, Ran and Han bury Xioni beneath a tree. Han remains despondent, her expression clouded with sorrow. Ran gently takes her hand and murmurs, "It's getting colder. Let's head back." That evening, Han sits silently, watching television. Ran calls from the kitchen, "Dinner's ready. I made all your favorites." But she doesn't answer. With a heavy sigh, he brings the dishes to the table himself. Turning to their loyal companion, he instructs, "Shia, stay with Han inside." Shia he barks in response. The system notifies Ran, "Radiation-resistant crops have matured. Please harvest immediately." Ran steps out to collect them, and the system tallies the results. Radiation-resistant crops 5,000 kilograms. Ancient medical crops 10 kilograms. A robotic voice follows. Points redeemed successfully. Greenhouse upgrade in progress. Dilapidated greenhouse upgraded to level 1. Ordinary greenhouse upgraded to level 2. Another alert chimes. Warning. Player Ran's defense shelter is currently level 3. Protection limited to small wild animals. Risk remains extremely high. It is strongly advised to establish a proper defense system immediately. Ran frowns, realizing the truth. Improving the farm's safety has to be my first priority. The crops are yielding plenty of points. Expansion can wait. The system continues. Wall reinforcement upgraded from level 1 to level 2. Perimeter power grid purchased successfully. Cost 500 points. Radar tower installed. Ran calculates his remaining resources. Not many points left, but Han needs protection. I should buy mechanical guards. He checks the system and frowns. He doesn't have enough. Unless, if I sell some grain stored in the warehouse, I'll have just enough. Resolute, he decides. Even if I run out, I can always earn more points later. Let's secure these two first. He selects the option for a mechanical guard worth 3,500 points. The system confirms purchase successful. Mechanical guard level 1 hummingbird deployed. The hummingbird is operating at full capacity, rated 100 out of 100, with 0 damage sustained. Its speed is measured at 5, while its offensive capability scores a 3. However, its defense is comparatively weak, rated only at 1. The creature's primary mode of attack is long-range shooting. The Hound, a level 2 combat warrior, is equipped with a maximum load capacity of 50 out of 50 and a fuel reserve of 100 out of 100. It boasts a speed rating of 4, damage output at 6, and a solid defense rating of 5. Unlike the hummingbird, the Hound is capable of a wider variety of attacks, including burning, shooting, and biting. Ran watches closely as the hummingbird warrior swoops down, striking against the fallen leaves with remarkable precision. Pleased by its accuracy, he exclaims, "Excellent control. Air pulse sniper is now unlocked. Next, let's test the ground unit's combat strength." He directs the Hound warrior to destroy a large rock. The beast lunges forward and shatters it with ease. Ran nods with satisfaction, feeling reassured by its performance. He calls out to Han, but she remains silent. The Hound, however, approaches her gently and gazes at her with affection. Ran instructs, "From now on, let it stay by her side and protect her." Han, touched by the display, agrees and asks if they should name it. Ran suggests, "How about Xiaoi?" Overcome with emotion, Han embraces the Hound warrior. Meanwhile, at Tianon Pharmaceutical Company, a researcher reports that the out-of-control samples have been neutralized. Only sample number 7 shows steady progress. It can now penetrate a 5mm steel plate with ease. Another man asks about developments elsewhere. The first responds, explaining that Vice President Ren is already displeased with their failure to provide medical equipment. If she escalates this to headquarters, it could become serious. The second man, revealed to be Lang Tianu, general manager of Tianun Pharmaceuticals, reclines in his chair with a sly smile. "It's just a girl with a modest background," he remarks. "Besides, everything was handled discreetly. Even if she tried to investigate, she wouldn't know where to begin." His subordinate agrees, though he warns that headquarters could take notice. Lang waves it off and instructs, "Have Chinan keep an eye on Xiaolin. Make sure she doesn't interfere with our operations." The man acknowledges the order and leaves. Alone in his office, Lang muses, "Perhaps this will lead to a great treasure." At that moment, Vice President Ren arrives and demands to see him. A secretary apologetically informs her, "I'm sorry, Vice President, but Mr. Lang is not in the company right now." The excuse only fuels her frustration. Ignoring protocol, she storms into his office, demanding, "Lang Tianu, what on earth is going through your pig-headed mind? The entire southern medical system is collapsing, and instead of leading your staff to supply hospitals with alternative medicines and equipment, you're wasting time on animal experiments?" Lang, unruffled, replies coolly, "Vice President Ren, this is the general manager's office. Barging in uninvited is hardly appropriate, don't you think? And let's not forget I am a businessman. My responsibility is profit. Do you honestly believe modern medicine has any real chance of containing this global epidemic?" Ren's eyes blaze with anger. "What did you just say?" Lang smirks. "You're a shareholder of this company, are you not? You enjoy dividends like the rest. Imagine how much more rewarding it would be if our research succeeds. Can you envision the scale of that reward?" Ren's expression hardens. "Then tell me, Mr. Lang, has your research yielded any real progress? Even the Yan Huang federal government hasn't managed to produce any effective drugs yet, which means she has no choice but to personally visit his laboratory." Lang laughs lightly, insisting he was only joking. How could he possibly develop something so quickly? Still, he remarks, if Vice President Ren were willing to allocate more manpower and resources to the project, their progress would certainly accelerate. Ren states firmly that she will visit the laboratory later to inspect the progress for herself. Before she can commit further cooperation, she must see the results firsthand. Lang welcomes the idea warmly, adding that he has already arranged for a personal escort. Ren agrees to go, and Lang courteously offers to see her out. As they leave, one of Ren's men quietly briefs her. He explains that during the technical team's previous attempt, her time in the office was too limited, they only managed a rough scan. The hidden entrance to the secret laboratory, therefore, is unlikely to be located within the office itself. Ren nods knowingly, calling Lang an old fox. She then asks if they managed to obtain any information from the captured scientist. The man shakes his head. "No, they were always blindfolded whenever entering or leaving. But we did get hold of the key card." Ren's eyes light up with satisfaction. "Excellent." She accepts the card, thinking to herself, if the most dangerous place is also the safest, could it be hidden there? Inside the laboratory, a man steps forward to greet her. He introduces himself as Tuzi, the one assigned to guide and explain everything during her visit. Ren gives her consent and instructs, "Very well, Director Tuzi. Let's begin by checking on the progress of the experimental subjects." Tuzi gestures politely. "This way, please." He leads her to one of the containment units. This is subject number 7, the only specimen in this batch that did not lose control. Its strength has increased tenfold. Unlike the failed subjects, it isn't entirely bloodthirsty, though it remains dangerously unstable and prone to aggression. Suddenly, another man rushes in, clearly distressed. He whispers something urgently into Tuzi's ear. Tuzi's expression shifts from confusion to alarm. "What?" he blurts. Ren watches silently, a faint smile on her face. "How could this have happened?" Tuzi demands. The man replies anxiously, "We're not certain, sir. Please, come and see for yourself." Turning back to Ren, Tuzi bows slightly. "Vice President, I must apologize. An emergency has arisen, and I can no longer accompany you. My colleague will guide you instead." Ren waves it off calmly. "It's fine. I only intended a routine inspection. I'll look around briefly and then leave." Tuzi hesitates. "I'm afraid that would be against regulations." Ren counters smoothly. "Everything here is under surveillance. What are you so worried about?" The subordinate urges Tuzi again, and Ren advises him, "Go quickly. Don't waste time, this seems important." Reluctantly, Tuzi agrees. "Very well. We will monitor your safety at all times." Once alone, Ren activates her earpiece. "It's time to act," she tells her operative. At a remote station, the man types swiftly. "Understood. The surveillance is now under our control," he confirms. "Good. Can this facility be used as our hideout?" Ren asks. "Check the northeast corner," he instructs. "There should be a concealed panel in the wall. Press it down, you'll have about 30 minutes. "Got it," Ren replies. She searches the corner and finds the mechanism. As the hidden door opens, her curiosity heightens. Inside, she discovers countless human test subjects. Her operative's voice crackles in her ear. "Vice President Ren, what do you see?" "It's worse than we anticipated," Ren answers grimly. "Should I notify headquarters for intervention?" he asks. Ren's eyes narrow as she notices something unusual. "No, wait," she says. Her curiosity deepens. She observes a girl, one of the test subjects, undergoing a transformation into a mermaid. The girl's name is John Lin. Rage wells up inside her as she thinks bitterly, "That bastard." Soon after, the system alerts Ren that his radiation-resistant crop is finally ready for harvesting. Han's face lights up with joy at the news. Ren calls out to her, "Come help me finish up quickly so we can have dinner earlier." Han's mouth begins to water as she picks up an ear of corn and pleads, "Big brother, can you grill this for me later?" Ren laughs softly and teases, "Are you already hungry?" Han admits with a pout, "I'm so hungry I don't even want to pick it myself." Ren shakes his head with a smile. "Go gather some dry wood then. I'll make you grilled corn with butter." Overjoyed, Han cheers, "Yay!" Ran prepares the corn and grills it for her. While eating, Han asks curiously, "Big brother, what if I keep eating like this and turn into a fat pig?" Ren sighs to himself, acknowledging that her appetite has indeed grown lately. He explains, "This special crop boosts our physical fitness. As your body develops, your nutritional needs will increase. You're still growing, so eating more won't make you fat." Just then, the system reports Han's stats: 6 years old, with strength rated at 10, intelligence at 11, speed at 11, and endurance at 11 out of 11. Han continues eating happily, nodding at his explanation. Ran reflects that after several days of eating radiation-resistant vegetables, both of their physical conditions have improved significantly. He jokingly wonders if she'll eventually turn into a King Kong Barbie. The thought makes him imagine his little sister as a doll calling him Big Brother, and he quickly shakes his head, laughing at his own overthinking. Han declares with delight, "This grilled corn is amazing." Ran replies warmly, "Then next time, I'll make you a spicy one." With the security of their shelter and their growing food supply, Ran reassures himself that even if Han's appetite someday rivals that of Luffy's, he'll still be able to provide for her. Suddenly, the system warns him that a visitor is approaching. Curious, Ran wonders who would come at such a time. When he spots the figure, he realizes, "Isn't that Xiao Qian? Didn't I give him some food before? What's he doing here?" Qian beams when he sees Ran and greets him respectfully. "Young boss Ran," he carries a bundle of food in his arms and explains, "You gave my family instant noodles the other day. My father said we should return the favor. We just received some food, so I brought this for you." Ran chuckles lightly. "That's thoughtful of you." He recognizes the food, it's exactly what he had given them before, but he doesn't regret his decision to help. Taking a deep breath, he asks, "Where did you get all this?" Qian scratches his head sheepishly before admitting, "Honestly, I found it in our yard. Maybe a relative sent it quietly, or perhaps some kind person left it there. Either way, I just wanted to repay your kindness. Actually, I also have a favor to ask, if that's okay?" Ran's interest is piqued. "Go ahead." Qian explains, "I heard a new grain shopping center opened on the southern outskirts. They still have a lot of stock. I'd like to borrow your truck to go there and buy some supplies." Ran nods. Alright, you can borrow it. Looking uneasy, Jian quickly adds, the problem is, I don't have a driver's license. The shopping center is in a remote area, but it's really not too far from here. Ran realizes the truth. Tian isn't just borrowing the truck, he's asking for a driver as well. Please, young boss Ran, Tian pleads earnestly. It won't take long, I promise. Ran reflects that he's been stuck at the farm for quite some time now. He had planned to visit the shopping center in a few days anyway to see the situation for himself. Since it was still early, Ran decided to drive Tian there with him. With the mechanical guard stationed at home, he felt reassured that Han would be safe even if left alone. After all, Zio's combat abilities were more than enough to handle a small group of intruders. Tian agreed without hesitation. All right, he said, smiling. After all, we're old acquaintances, but I'll need to be back before noon to cook for Han. Hearing this, Tian's mood lifted. Okay, sorry to trouble you, he replied happily. Wait here, Ran instructed. I'll bring the truck around. Got it, Tian answered. Before leaving, Ran turned to Han. Stay at home and don't open the door for anyone. I'll be back soon. Don't worry, big brother, Han reassured him. Dubai is awesome. Ran frowned. Dubai. Han quickly clarified. It's the upgraded version. I tested it, and it shattered a huge rock in one strike. Ran asked, Is that so? When did that happen? His tone grew stern. Listen carefully, Dubai is only for emergencies. Using it otherwise is too dangerous. Han nodded obediently. Okay, I won't break any more rocks. Ran patted her head. Good. Be a good girl, and when your brother Tian and I return from the shopping center, we'll bring you candy. Her eyes lit up. Brother Tian is here? I want to say hello. Ran tugged her cheeks playfully. What for? You can't reveal Dubai in front of outsiders. Of course I know that, Han pouted. I'm already 6 years old, not a child anymore. Besides you, no one talks to me at home, it's suffocating. Ran sighed. Fine. He stepped outside to fetch the truck. Han brightened immediately upon seeing Tian, who greeted her warmly. She remarked on his physique, but Ran cut her short. All right, enough. Get in the car. The sooner we leave, the sooner I'll be back to cook for you. With that, Ran and Tian departed. Han stomped her foot in frustration. Stingy big brother, I didn't even finish saying hello. Huffing, she muttered, Forget it. I'll just watch cartoons. On the road, Ran thought to himself, that silly girl, always running her mouth. The ride fell into silence until Tian spoke up. Young boss Ran, are you sure it's safe to leave Han alone at home? The world is in chaos right now. If some criminal were to target the farm, wouldn't she be in danger? Ran shook his head. Who would bother with my shabby little farm? There's no money and no food here. Besides, Han is only 6. Even if she had a self-defense tool, she wouldn't know how to use it. Tian pressed further. Didn't you at least leave something behind for her protection? Ran thought about Dubai. There's no safer place than the farm right now. Out loud, he explained, I electrified the front gate. No one's breaking in. Don't worry. Tian chuckled in relief. That's good to hear. He pulled out his phone, prompting Ran to glance at him curiously. Noticing his look, Tian smirked. Relax. I just don't have enough cash on hand. I'll borrow from a friend. Ran remained silent. Back at home, Han was watching television while playing with Xiaoi. She suddenly exclaimed, That's right, Brother Tian can change colors too. She leaned toward Xiaoi with curiosity. Could it be? Xiaoi barked in response. Could it be that Brother Tian is also one of the Rainbow Warriors? Han's eyes widened. Last time Big Brother and I saw him, he was green. Now he's red. This is so much fun. Meanwhile, Ran handed something over to Tian, leaving him stunned and bewildered. He stares at Ran in silence. Ran calmly tells him that time is running short and urges him to just accept what he is giving for now. Tian shakes his head in resistance, insisting that he cannot. With a heavy voice, he says Ran has already helped his family so much, how could he possibly accept money from him as well? Ran forcefully presses the money into his hand, cutting him off. "Just take it," he says firmly. "Enough of this nonsense, you still have to drive." Tian grips the wheel, feeling powerless, and promises Ran that he will repay his kindness no matter what. The navigation system begins to announce directions. 500 meters ahead, continue straight. 300 meters ahead, turn right. 200 meters ahead, take the fork in the road. 100 meters ahead, turn right. Turn right now. Tian's anxiety rises with each instruction. Suddenly, he swerves the car in another direction, startling Ran. Confused, Ran demands to know what he's doing. Tian hurriedly explains, "The road to the right looks closed. We should go around from the left." Ran's face hardens. "That's impossible. I've taken this road countless times. It's the main route through this township. It wouldn't be closed unless some major disaster struck. Where did you hear that?" Tian hesitates before muttering, "A friend told me." Ran's tone sharpens. "Which friend? Call him right now and let me hear it myself." But Tian trembles and pleads with him to stop pressing. "Please, don't ask anymore. I swear I won't harm you. Just turn now, before it's too late. Trust me just this once." Ran grows irritated. Against his better judgment, he finally steers the car left. At that moment, the system begins to beep rapidly. Elsewhere, a man slams his fist against his own navigation system and curses. "Damn it, something went wrong." His face twists with rage. In another car, one of his men asks, "Nan, what should we do now?" Nan's eyes narrow. "Fortunately, we prepared for this." He radios his team, "The target is heading your way. Remember, stop them but keep them alive. That's Mr. Ling's order." The men respond immediately, "Understood." He instructs them to block the road, attack from the front, while the second team strikes from behind. With a cruel sneer, he adds, "I'd like to see if they can sprout wings and fly away today." Back in Ran's car, Ran's patience finally snaps. He glares at Tian and demands, "What the hell is going on? Tell me the truth." Tian breaks down, cursing himself. He sobs, confessing that he betrayed Ran. "It's all my fault, but I had no choice. They took my father." His voice trembles with guilt. Ran steadies him with a sharp command. "Calm down. Who are these people? What do they want from me?" Through tears, Tian explains, "They're from Tian. They know you carry the antidotes for poisoning. They forced me to lead you away from the farm so they could capture Hannon and make you surrender." Ran's fury explodes. "Hannon? She's just a child only 6 years old. You bastards can come after me, but you're kidnapping a little girl." Tian lowers his head in shame. "I didn't want to, but they threatened to kill my father. I had no choice." The roar of an approaching car interrupts them. Tian panics. "Damn it, they've already caught up." Ran's voice cuts like steel. "Shut up." His eyes narrow as he continues. "So that's it. Every question I asked you just now, it was all a test. You weren't trying to help. You were signaling them. Even when you were playing with your phone, that was your message to them." Meanwhile, back at the farm, Han is with Zayoi. She notices his sudden change in expression and asks softly, "What's wrong?" Outside, Ling's men advance on the farm, weapons in hand, preparing for the attack. Tian apologizes to Ran, begging him to just hand over the medicine. He insists there are too many of them, and without it, they won't be able to escape. Ran, however, looks at him with deep disappointment. He says he never wanted to kill Tian, but after what he did to Hen, how dare he even ask such a thing? Tian breaks down in tears, admitting his regret. He explains that they took his father away, and despite everything, he can't turn back now. Desperate, he pleads once more for the medicine as their pursuers draw closer. Ran coldly replies that he'll settle accounts with him later, but none of them will ever make it out of his farm alive. With that, Ran begins racing toward his farm. A memory resurfaces. In a flashback, Jian hears his father's voice. "Son, he's finally better. You nearly scared me to death." Tian, stunned, replies, "Dad, I can't believe he really survived." His father shakes his head. "That fool. What on earth did he eat to end up like that?" Tian admits, "He was starving. He couldn't take it anymore. He found an apple in the cellar. It looked untouched, no signs of contamination." His father's expression hardens. He was really that desperate. How could he eat anything from the cellar? Everything stored there is in contact with the ground. John tries to justify it. "We've been eating nothing but grass for days." He thought maybe it was worth the gamble. Otherwise, he would have starved sooner or later. His father pats his shoulder and says firmly, "Enough nonsense. I borrowed some food for us. And don't forget, we were blessed with that food drop and that strange elixir that saved his life. The gods must have pitied him and spared him. Many people have died from eating poisoned vegetables, yet he alone survived. Later, we must visit our ancestral graves and give thanks." Tian hesitates, wondering aloud if gods truly exist. Wouldn't a god prevent disasters like this in the first place? I think someone gave us that elixir. Someone who doesn't want us to know who they are. His father ignores the doubt, instead asking if he's hungry. Tian is overwhelmed with gratitude, amazed at how much food they'd been given when their family had been left to starve with nothing but scraps. His father promises to prepare something for him, insisting he must eat well to fully recover from his illness. Chun chuckles bitterly. God really is unfair. He rises to his feet, startling his father. "Son, where are you going?" he asks. Chun brushes him off, saying he'll be right back. As he leaves, his father calls out, urging him to rest. But Chun snaps at him to stop worrying and storms out. At another location, pounding echoes on a door. A man inside mutters irritably, "He's coming, stop knocking already." He swings the door open and snarls, "What the hell is it? Calling for ghosts in the middle of the night?" On the doorstep stands Tian, out of breath and smeared with blood. Brother Meow," he pants. Meow narrows his eyes, instantly on guard. "Damn it, Xiao Tian. What the hell do you want now?" Tian pleads desperately, "No, Brother Meow, please. My home was robbed. I just need to check the surveillance video." Meow frowns. "What are you talking about?" Tian points frantically at the mounted camera. "That one your 360 degrees wireless monitor? You remember, right?" Meow sighs. "Yeah, I remember." "Then lend it to me, please. Look at what that thief did to me. I have to find him. Please," Tian begs. Reluctantly, Meow waves him through. "Fine, but hurry up. You're disturbing my sleep." Tian studies the footage, relieved that the camera caught a perfect angle of his alleyway. His eyes narrow as he spots a suspicious car. He focuses on the license plate, committing it to memory. Later, he quietly returns home. His father asks, "What has he been up to?" Tian answers firmly, saying he knows the identity of the one who saved his life. "Who was it?" his father presses. "It was young boss Lee," Tian replies. He explains that after checking the CCTV footage, he confirmed that the timing of Lee's truck arriving and leaving matched perfectly with the moment of his rescue. His father is astonished. "That young boss Lee, he's truly a remarkable man. Not only did he give us food, but he also saved your life." Tian remains silent for a moment. Then he asks, "Father, have you heard the news? The Tian group has been paying very generously to certain people." His father looks at him in confusion. "What are you talking about?" Then, anger rising in his voice, he snaps, "You bastard! What exactly are you planning? Jian responds coldly, I'm only trying to make things easier for both of us in this hellish world. How long do you think that little bit of food will last? What happens once it's gone? Do you really believe Boss Lee will keep providing for us? Enraged, his father slaps him across the face. So you want to repay kindness with betrayal? How could I have raised such an ungrateful creature? If you dare to act on this, I'll break your legs myself. But Qian doesn't back down. Don't you understand our situation? If we want to survive, we can only rely on ourselves. He's just a man who happened to cross our path, and I'll do whatever it takes to live. Back in the present, Ran is under pursuit. Damn it, I can't shake them. They're too close. Suddenly, two cars block the road ahead, forcing him to slam on the brakes. A man watches Ran's car screech to a stop. Ran and Chun step out cautiously. The stranger smirks. You must be Li Tianran, right? Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Chinan, affiliated with Chun Pharmaceutical Company. I had to use this little method just to meet you, but I promise I come without malice. We all know you possess the cure for the poisoning pandemic. Let's discuss cooperation. You provide the cure, we handle the distribution, and together we'll earn unimaginable profits. Ran narrows his eyes. And if I refuse? Chinan smiles coldly. Then there are only two paths for you. One, you work with us willingly. Everyone's happy, and we all make money with smiles on our faces. The second. At that moment, Chinan's men pull out their weapons. We take the cure by force. We can always make you talk. Ran shakes his head. You're mistaken. That cure was nothing but a stroke of luck. I only ever had one dose, and I already used it on myself. Even as he speaks, he notes that none of Chinan's men carry firearms. That makes them less of a threat than they believe. He realizes Xiao Tian has already lost his usefulness to them. If they had guns, they could have forced him down long ago. Ran apologizes with mock sincerity. I'm sorry you came all this way for nothing. There's no point in wasting more words. Chinan sneers. So you really won't cry until you see the coffin? Fine. He dials a number. Hey, is he at the farm gate? Good. Go in, grab the little girl, and force her to eat those poisoned fruits. He looks back at Ran. Tell me, what's the point of electrifying that pathetic broken fence of yours? Our men are all veterans trained in insulation. If you want to stand against Tian Company, you should first recognize your own worth. Work with us, and we can all profit together. Suddenly, Chinan falters. His expression shifts as he sees Ran's power awaken. Energy crackles around him. Ran's voice turns sharp and cold. The thing I hate most in this world is being threatened. Chinan stiffens, unnerved. How could a mere farmer have such terrifying eyes? He looks terrified. Ran tells him that he should be grateful he never ended up at the farm because with Ran, at least he still has a chance to stay alive a little longer. Nan scoffs, calling it nonsense. He warns Ran to cooperate, or both he and the little girl will die. Ran remains silent. Nan frowns, realizing Ran has no intention of complying. Nan orders his men to cut off Ran's limbs and leave him alive. Soon after, a group of people arrive, using an excavator to smash down the farm's wall. The noise irritates Han, who complains that she can't even watch her cartoons in peace. Annoyed, she mutters that those idiots are so loud she feels like blowing their heads off. The attackers rush in to confront Ran. Without hesitation, Ran strikes one of them and sends him flying. Watching his men being overpowered, Chin Nan begins to panic. Ran moves through them with ease, beating them all into submission. Nan, overwhelmed and frightened, mutters in disbelief, "What the hell is going on?" It had always been said that anti-personnel weapons only existed inside the farm. All Nan needed to do was lure Ran outside. From a distance, a man observes the battle. He frowns and whispers, "Something strange about this farm." Meanwhile, Han is gleefully detonating rocks. The distant explosions make the observer suspect she's using some kind of weapon, most likely explosives. He decides the plan is simple: lure her out and capture her alive. But even he admits that no one ever mentioned how powerful the farmer really was. Ran, on the other hand, mutters to himself in awe. He hadn't expected the physical enhancement from the radiant-resistant great crop to be so terrifying. After only a few days of eating teeth and T-radiant crops, his physical stats had skyrocketed. At just 22 years old, Leon Ran now possessed strength and speed both rated at 15, while his intelligence and endurance were both maxed at 11. Ran notes that not only have his strength and speed improved, but his bone density and reflexes have also been significantly enhanced. He reflects that in ancient times, people could step into the Tao using a sword, but here he was, carving his own path with nothing but his fists. He strikes at Qin Nan again, muttering that this is his way of entering the Tao. Still, Ran decides it's time to stop testing his limits. Enough playing. He draws his gun and aims it at Han and the others. Han freezes, terrified. He had assumed Ran wouldn't carry firearms, but now he realizes how careless he'd been. Ran warns him that he cannot afford to provoke the big shot backing him, and that if he does, he'll suffer consequences he can't even imagine. But in Han's mind, he believes that if he can just get close enough, the gun will be useless. Ran smirks and agrees with the thought, then casually shoots one of Han's men. He remarks that the man had some value, but there's no reason to keep the rest alive. Qin Nan breaks down, cursing and trembling as he watches his people fall one after another. He convinces himself that his only option is to escape into the woods, wait for Ran to run out of bullets, and strike from the shadows. He runs for cover, hiding behind a massive rock. Hearing the gunfire stop, Nan assumes Ran has finally run out of ammunition. Relief floods him. Perfect, he thinks. I'll stay hidden, wait for the right moment, then ambush him. I still have a chance. But Ran isn't out of bullets. He calmly checks his system, which notifies him, inventory opened. Retrieving item, pistol no. 1. Nan catches sight of this, and his blood runs cold. Horrified, he stammers, Why? Why does he still have a gun? Is he a martial artist? Ran raises his weapon, takes aim at Nan, and pulls the trigger. The scene shifts to the farm, where Dubai drags the corpses outside. His system notifies Han that, according to the young mistress's orders, the last intruder has already been eliminated. He then asks what further instructions she has. Han grows uneasy and exclaims that if Big Brother returns and sees this, he will think of her as violent and reckless. He won't approve of her actions. Absolutely not, she cannot allow him to find out. She must get rid of the evidence at the door before he arrives. Meanwhile, Nan, gravely injured and coughing, pleads desperately. He admits he was wrong to use a child as leverage and begs for mercy. Please, he gasps, I've told you everything, stop tormenting me. Ran's expression hardens. He tells Nan that forgiveness is out of the question. However, he offers him a choice, either a swift and painless death, or a faint hope of survival healing him just enough to continue the interrogation. I have plenty of bullets and time, Rand warns. The choice is yours. Chen Nan, knowing resistance is futile, agrees to talk and instructs him to proceed with the questioning. Ran asks who his superior is. Chen Nan reveals that it is Lang Tianu, the CEO of Tianan. Ran mutters in disdain. So it's that bastard who inflated drug prices. No wonder he's so ruthless. Aside from Lang Tianu, who else is involved? Chen Nan insists he alone is responsible and that he has kept everything concealed. Not even the high-ranking executives of the company are aware. He admits he has been at odds with the vice president and intends to exploit this operation to strengthen his authority. His ambition is to impress headquarters and eliminate the rival vice president from the southern city branch. Ran reflects grimly. So Tiannan Pharmaceuticals, the company monopolizing the southern city, is nothing more than a subsidiary of a larger conglomerate. He slaps Chen Nan sharply, demanding, "Did Lang Tiannu report this to headquarters?" Chen Nan shakes his head. "No, that other vice president has connections with headquarters. Lang Tiannu doesn't dare escalate the matter." Ran narrows his eyes. "Then this is still containable. The news hasn't spread yet, which makes solving the problem easier. Take me to see Lang Tiannu." Just then, Lang's phone rings. He answers, asking if the mission is complete. On the other end, Chen Nan reports, "Yes, we have the target under control, but he insists on meeting you and the old man before saying anything." Lang's voice brims with irritation. "Useless. You can't even handle such a trivial matter without me." Chen Nan apologizes, explaining that the target is extremely tight-lipped and that they've already lost several men in the process. Lang sighs in annoyance but agrees. "Fine. Take him to warehouse number 78. I'll be there shortly." The call ends. Furious, Lang slams his phone to the ground. "Damn it. How dare he hang up first," he curses. "Once I'm back at headquarters, I'll replace him without hesitation." He storms out of the room. Back at the warehouse, Tian removes the phone from Chen Nan and turns to Ran. "Thank you, young Master Ran." Ran waves him off coldly. "Uncle Nan is just an acquaintance. Don't make this personal." Tian bows his head apologetically. Later, in the warehouse, Lang confronts Tian. "Why is it just you? Where are Chen Nan and the messenger?" Tian replies carefully. "The messenger was knocked unconscious and left in the car. As for big brother Chen Nan, he had a stomach ache and went to the restroom. He worried that impatience might get the better of him, so he asked for it to be brought over first." Leon sneered, cursing under his breath that they were nothing but a pack of fools. Then his eyes landed on Chen Nan, and he broke into laughter, mistaking him for Ran. Look at him beaten half to death and still refusing to talk. Clearly, I didn't hit hard enough. He raised his voice. "The old man is right here. Speak, and I'll let you go." Uncle Nan trembled, tears streaming down his face. In his heart, he thought desperately, "Don't say a word. He'll never let them leave alive." Lang stepped in quickly, trying to silence him before he made a sound. "What is this mutt barking at?" Leon snarled, before striking Uncle Nan again. The old man's stubborn silence only infuriated him further. Tian clenched his fists in fury, but before he could act, Lean turned to him. "Be honest, Tian. What's he staring at? Bring him here." The thugs continued beating Uncle Nan, cursing at him to shut up. Lang mocked them all. What a pathetic bunch of trash. At that moment, Ran appeared, slamming his foot directly into Lang's face. The room froze in shock. "What?" the men gasped. Ran stood there, calm but armed, pressing his gun toward Lang. "This wall wasn't exactly easy to climb," he said coldly. The men stared in disbelief. "Boss!" they called out in panic. Lang barked at them to stay back. His eyes darted. How did he get in here? Where is Chen Nan? Damn it, did Chen Nan betray us?" He tried to regain composure and growled, "Touch him, I dare you to try." Ran smirked. "Tell me, how does a man with so little intelligence become the head of Tian? Did you invest all your skills into being a ruthless bastard instead?" Lang's gaze shifted, and when he saw Chen Nan among them, rage consumed him. Realizing the man before him was not Ran, he spat venomously. "You little brat. If you touch me, I'll have that old fool killed right now." Ran shrugged. "Sure, go ahead. Killing him would cost me less than keeping irrelevant people alive anyway." Tian's voice cracked as he pleaded, "Boss Ran, please don't." Desperate, Lang shouted for his men to protect him, but their hesitation betrayed their fear. Then, with a sudden order, he commanded them to kill Ran. The men charged, but Ran's gunfire echoed through the room. cutting them down instantly. "Are you all brain dead?" he asked coldly. Tian panicked, crying out for his father. Ran, without hesitation, shot Ling dead on the spot. Uncle Nan and Tian dropped to their knees before him. "I'm sorry," Tian stammered. Uncle Nan bowed deeply. "Thank you for sparing us. I know these apologies mean nothing, but I am grateful. Please don't hold me accountable for my son's foolishness." Ran shook his head. "Uncle Nan, I don't believe in guilt by association. You've done nothing to harm me." But Uncle Nan lowered his eyes. "Even so, it is still my failure as a father not to have stopped him. That guilt is mine." Ran addressed Chun directly. "You don't need to keep apologizing. If you want to atone, then stop holding on to the belief that you're beyond forgiveness. I won't hurt you, there's no reason to." Tian interjected quickly. "We truly know nothing about this, boss. You can trust us on that. But what do you plan to do now?" Ran's gaze was cold. "Gather the bodies, stack them together. I'll bring the car around." "Yes, boss," Tian replied immediately. Uncle Nan hesitated before asking, What? What are you going to do?" Ran's answer was chilling in its simplicity. "What else can be done? Wipe away every trace." Jian followed his command, dragging and piling the corpses. He asked softly, "Father, is boss going to burn them?" Uncle Nan nodded grimly. "Most likely. Out here, it's the only way to keep things hidden." But as he struggled to pull Chin Nan's body across the ground, the man suddenly stirred. Chin Nan sprang up and lunged at him. Uncle Nan froze in terror, nearly collapsing. "I dodged it, barely," Chin Nan rasped, furious at his failure. "I messed up." "Father," Chan shouted in panic, rushing toward him. Chin Nan remarks, "Well, he is on a dead-end road anyway." Nan grows frightened. Chin Nan prepares to attack, declaring that dragging someone down with him before he dies would not be such a bad bargain. He strikes, but Tian intervenes to shield his father. Uncle Nan is stunned. At that moment, Ran arrives in his car and rams into Chin Nan, driving him into the wall. Uncle Nan clutches Tian, weeping over his son. Wounded, Tian speaks. "Boss, father was right. He is useless. He cannot be good, nor does he dare to be bad. For his own selfish desires, he placed his father in such a dangerous situation. He deserves this. I will return his life to him." He lets out a faint laugh. "Finally, I can relax. And one last thing, thank Han for me. The candies and the food that night were from her, weren't they? They seemed like something a child would bring. Thank her. They were sweet." With that, Tian dies. Uncle Nan is stricken, rising in agony before staggering toward the car. Ran watches silently as Uncle Nan approaches Chin Nan's body and viciously smashes it with a shard of glass. Soon after, the warehouse erupts in flames. Ran and Uncle Nan emerge from the burning structure. A messenger rushes to General Ren, announcing urgent news. Ren commands them to calm down and speak clearly. The messenger explains they have discovered information concerning Lang Tanu. He is dead. Ren asks the doctor if the identity has been confirmed. The doctor replies that although the body was badly charred, they successfully extracted DNA from the dental pulp. The results identify Lang Tanu and Chin Nan. The genetic database, however, holds no records for the other corpses, and with limited police resources, further investigation is not possible. Ren dismisses this concern. What matters is whether it was murder or accident. The doctor clarifies it was murder. Several bodies contained bullet fragments, the blaze ignited by a car. The victims had likely been executed, piled together, and then set ablaze. Some even bore signs of torture prior to death. Ren concludes that this was the work of a merciless adversary, though she cannot yet determine whether the attack was directed at Lang Tanu personally or against Tanun Corporation. If it is the former, she says, "Tonight I will celebrate with 2 bottles of red wine." But if it is the latter, Then they have declared themselves my enemies. The system instructs Rand to confirm the bomb purchase. The transaction is successful. Rand turns to Uncle Nan. Are you certain you want revenge? Uncle Nan replies with conviction, even if it costs his life. Rand nods. Very well, attach this bomb trigger. He admits he has erased all possible traces, but cannot guarantee that Chon will not uncover something pointing back to him. He warns not to allow a repeat of what happened with Xiao Tian. Uncle Nan reassures him. Of course, I will never let it explode. Do not worry, young master. Later, at the farm, Rand calls Han. She tries to avoid him. He asks what she is doing, and Uncle Nan looks on in disbelief, muttering to himself, a robot dog inside the excavator, all those limbs, he must be out of his mind. And yet, even a little girl like Han isn't afraid. Nervously, Han blurts out, Big brother, he's back. And Grandpa Nan. I didn't do anything, I only played digging games. I didn't blow anything up. I only played the digging games. Rand scolds her, insisting he has seen everything himself. Why lie? Han admits, confessing she feared Big Brother would hate her for being violent. What if you don't want me anymore? Ren rebukes her gently. Nonsense. How could Big Brother ever abandon you? Tearfully, Han confesses further, but I killed someone. Uncle Nan is shaken. Ren reassures her, no matter what mistakes you make, I will always remain by your side and bear them with you. From beginning to end, you are my most important family. In truth, I am glad to see that you know how to protect yourself. Be yourself. Big Brother will guide you, so do not carry this burden. You did well against those who harbored evil intent. If we do not strike back, we cannot protect ourselves from harm. Han asserts firmly, whoever dares to bully Big Brother, she will blow his head off. Rand chuckles and agrees, calling him a big brother. Uncle Nan, confused, reflects that the world is changing far too quickly and that he must learn to adapt. What a cute little hen. Rand then asks Uncle Nan if Han means that she saw those people radiating the red color, and that was why she hated them and ordered their heads blown off. Han angrily exclaims, they even tore down the gate and interrupted me from watching cartoons. I don't like that kind of color. It feels unsettling. Uncle Nan grows curious. Rand follows up, asking if aside from those people, others also have colors. Han responds affirmatively. Big Brother has a soothing blue color. Xia Hai carries an approachable green, while Brother Xiao Tian is red as well. Grandpa Nan is gray with faint hints of green. She has also seen many passers-by before, and they too were gray. Ran is surprised, realizing that those who radiate red all seem to share the intent to harm her. He presses further, asking if besides colors, she also sees anything else, words, numbers, perhaps. He wonders aloud if Han might be a player. Intrigued, Han replies that she sees nothing else. Ran then asks when she first began seeing colors on people. Han explains that it began about a week ago. Ran reflects. In other words, Han's ability only manifested after the start of the destruction season. Yet since she cannot see the system, she is definitely not a player. Han thinks to herself, here they go again. Big Brother always pinches her face whenever he is pondering a problem. Ran contemplates, concluding that this must be evolution. After eating radiation-resistant vegetables, Han observes, Big Brother, your smile is so scary. Ran admits, yes, Big Brother is very happy. He reasons that crops redeemed through the food system lack the dangerous side effects of ordinary radiation crops, but the likelihood of mutation is much higher. He notes that after only a few days of eating radiation-resistant food, both he and Han have shown remarkable physical improvements. Moreover, Han has evolved the ability to perceive others' emotions, a skill much like a proximity sensor, essentially turning her into a humanoid reconnaissance device. Han grumbles, complaining that her cheeks are going to swell. Ran muses that his own digital ability is called the Eye of Truth, while Han's ability should be called the Eye of Good and Evil. He praises her, saying her ability is incredibly valuable. Han then asks if she will truly be able to help in the future. Ran confirms without hesitation. If she ever sees someone glowing red, she must tell her brother immediately, for she is his strongest assistant. He pats her head and she smiles warmly. Ran then asks if she is hungry, offering to cook for her. Han nods and replies, yes. Once the food is ready, Ran informs Han that Uncle Nan will now live with them. He can also help with the farm work. Uncle Nan responds that although he does not yet fully understand the situation, he knows what he must do. He will simply build a thatched hut at the gate to live in, keeping watch there. Han happily remarks, "This is great. Now Grandpa Nan can stay, and I'll have time to watch cartoons." But if Grandpa Nan is living here, where is brother Shashan? Uncle Nan explains that Shashan has gone to another world to atone for his sins. Han responds thoughtfully, "Oh, then it seems those who glow red and try to bully my big brother won't live long. Whoever dares to bully Big Brother or Xiaoi, I'll blow their head off." Ran praises her as a clever child and urges her to focus on eating. Uncle Nan reflects quietly to himself, things can hardly get worse than they already are. His hands are stained with blood, but now he has no worries. As long as he can help his son gain revenge, he is willing to serve as the boss's watchdog. The scene shifts to a man lighting a cigar as a news broadcast plays in the background. The announcer states, "Today marks the 15th day since the catastrophe, and the cumulative death toll on Blue Star has reached 38.6 million. In the Inwang Federation alone, 4.7 million have perished. The federal government is currently transferring grain reserves, and large-scale production of soilless cultivation technology is being launched. Citizens are urged not to panic." At that moment, someone enters the room and switches off the television. He asks, "Father, what would you have me do for you?" The man responds, "Have you read Ren Zio's report?" The other replies that he has, and that Lin Tiu is dead. The man continues, "Yes. That young boy was a strong earner, what a shame. And now, the mutation process has accelerated." The military police headquarters successfully captured a level 5 mutated beast in the mountains along the southern border. At the head office, researcher Jingyan is astonished, questioning how such a creature could have evolved to level 5. Until now, their research had only managed to reach level 3. All the results of their artificial catalyst experiments deep within the forest remain untouched, with no human intervention to clear them. The radioactive vegetation thrives, and even the lowest species devour one another, accelerating the intensity of mutation. Current human technology appears powerless against the unknown forces of natural evolution. The director orders that the laboratory there must be taken over. Ren Xiao discovers that Lin Tianu's secret experiments involved highly advanced techniques. The directive is clear: integrate these findings with existing resources and ensure the extraction of the virus as soon as possible. Bai complies and confirms. Ren, however, is unsettled. The records from 2 days prior had been completely normal, but it seems that whatever caused Lang's death occurred during that missing period. Unfortunately, the surveillance footage from those 2 days had been deliberately deleted by Lang Chianu, erasing all possible clues. With nothing left to uncover, Ren decides to focus on finalizing the location of the new research institute. She also prepares to receive the newly appointed person in charge. Rising from her seat, she leaves. A car soon arrives. Ren greets the newcomer, saying warmly, "Researcher Bai, welcome to the southern sector." Bai introduces himself, and Ren responds with equal courtesy, "It's a pleasure to meet you." She notices another man accompanying him and asks about him. Bai explains, "This is my assistant, Due. By the way, I've heard you already have a tentative location for the new research institute. Could you show it to me?" Ren chuckles lightly and replies, "Of course. I've selected several sites on the outskirts of the city. You may choose whichever you prefer." Bai nods approvingly, calling it excellent. Meanwhile, the system provides Ran with details on livestock-grade fish. Each species requires different water quality levels to survive. Level 1 fish demand 1,050 points with water of at least level 1. Level 2 fish require 10,500 points with level 2 or higher water. Level 3 fish need 105,000 points at level 3 or better. Level 4 fish require 1,050,000 points at level 4. And the rarest, level 5 fish, demand 10,500,000 points with water quality at level 5 or beyond. Ran reflects on the vast variety available, noting that the purchase cost for fish within the same level remains consistent across types. He is particularly struck by the availability of bluefin tuna, a rare delicacy from before the apocalypse, now priced at 500 points. He turns to Han and asks, "Would you like to eat plenty of bluefin tuna?" Han's eyes widen, her mouth watering. "Isn't that the famous one? The fish that melts in your mouth?" Ran confirms with a smile. "That's right. Before, I couldn't afford much, but now we can have as much as we want." Han bursts with excitement, exclaiming, "Wow, big brother, I really want to eat it," Ran responds. "Then let's go. Due will drive the excavator, and we'll dig a fish pond together." Han agrees eagerly. Ran marks a spot for the pond and instructs, "We'll start digging here." Meanwhile, Uncle Nan is playing with Xiao Hai and asks, "Young master, how old is Xiao Hai now? He seems much bigger than before." Ran frowns, explaining, "That shouldn't be possible. Xiao Hai has already reached adulthood and shouldn't grow any further." Uncle Nan speculates, "Maybe the farm food is too good. Has he simply put on weight? I remember when I first came to help, he barely reached my knees. Now he's up to my thighs." Ren considers this carefully. Living together every day made the gradual change hard to notice. But if Xiao Hai's body had undergone any unusual transformations, it could be dangerous, perhaps even resembling Zio's mutation. Thankfully, after Zio's incident, all the poisonous crops had been cleared from the farm. Still, Ren worries, could it be that Xiao Hai evolved by consuming radiation-resistant crops like Han? He resolves to keep a close watch, ensuring nothing further happens. At that moment, the system alerts Ran of a visitor. He wonders who it could be. Uncle Nan notices his distraction and asks, "What's wrong?" The system clarifies, 3 visitors, 2 men and 1 woman have arrived, their threat level identified as 8. They are revealed to be Ren Bai and Ku. Ren greets them, saying, "Researcher Bai, are you sure you don't want to inspect the new location I selected? It has better facilities and stronger security." Bai shakes his head, explaining, "This farm is well suited, and its type is sufficient. As for security and equipment, we'll transfer everything we need here once the purchase is finalized. I am very satisfied with this place." Ren responds politely as requested. She reflects that although this man is smiling, he is actually very difficult to talk to. He does not even glance at the locations she carefully selected. She thinks to herself that it has been a long time without anyone showing up, so she doubts they will appear now either. Bai instructs Kay to continue knocking. Ren remains silent until eventually appearing and asking what he wants. Bai remarks that Ren must be the owner of the place and that he has business to discuss. He requests that the gate be opened so they can speak face to face. Ren refuses. If there is something to say, it should be said here. He insists Ren express his intentions quickly, as he is very busy. Bai concedes and replies that he understands, especially since the situation outside is chaotic. Ren wonders about this man's attitude. She introduces herself as the general manager of the Tun Company, presenting her card. To keep matters brief, she explains they wish to purchase his farm and only need his name and his price. Ren reflects on the name Tun Company, thinking to himself that they have already managed to find his farm. She continues, saying that whatever his request may be, whether for supplies or anything else, the company will meet it. If he lacks a place to live, they will even provide him with a discounted villa in the city center. Ren refuses again. There is no need. She presses further, asking if he does not even want to hear the offer. Surely he has heard of the prestigious Tun Company. Perhaps he will reconsider after knowing the price. Ren repeats firmly that there is no need. He enjoys living here, and even if she offered him a mountain of gold, he would not change his mind. Kiwi grows angry and snaps, calling him a bastard. Immediately, the system issues a warning. A violent attack has been detected at the farm gate, with a strength level of 2. It asks whether Ren wants to counterattack. Ren commands the system not to retaliate. He considers how remarkable it is that this man could trigger a system warning with just one punch. Ren calls out to Bai, who halts Kiwi. Startled, Kiwi is struck across the face by Bai, who reprimands him harshly, reminding him of his earlier lessons. If he dares act without permission again, he will be sent back to Devil Capital. Kiwi, frightened, apologizes and admits his mistake, promising never to repeat it. Ren finds the exchange interesting. Bai turns back and asks Ren not to take it to heart, explaining that his assistant acted ignorantly. Ren brushes it off and motions Kiwi to come closer. Excited, Kiwi obeys. Suddenly, Ren punches him, leaving Kiwi shouting in pain. Ren activates the hummingbird guard, forcing Kiwi to kneel down, coughing. Ren retorts that since Kiwi punched first, he only punched back now they are even. He tells them that if there is nothing else, they should leave. Bai smiles faintly, while Ren watches closely. Bai tears a sheet from his notebook and hands it to Ren, apologizing for the inconvenience. He says if Ren ever changes his mind, he can contact him at the number written down.